Welcome back to the Sidetrack'd podcast.
Oh my god. What are you talking about? We're really about to do this all over again.
Welcome back to Sidetrack'd. Today, not necessarily in the studio, but today on the podcast, we have Letitia.
Hi y'all, I'm back again.
The reason we're on Zoom and not in the studio, one, Letitia, as you know, doesn't live with me or here.
Obviously.
But we originally planned to do this episode with Kevin, her brother, and you've read the title of the podcast, but we were going to talk about, like, Africa and Togo, and we're all from there, obviously, because we're all related, and this nigga decided, you know what, I'm not going to show up. And we've been planning this for months. It's not like I sprung it on him last week and I was like, hey, come by the podcast. No, we've been planning this since, like, the first episode of the podcast. We wanted to do, like, a Zoom call type thing, and he was free this week because we're on spring break, but he's asleep right now, so that's that. Can never, ever trust men, ever.
They're just unreliable people in the world.
Like, truly, I can't stand them. But we already have a whole podcast episode on men, so that's not what today's episode's on. But today we're going to be talking about Africa and Togo specific because that's where I'm from. But, and how it's just been, like, very therapeutic in the last few years. Like, for me personally, when we were younger, obviously, we went, or at least me. I don't know about your family, but our family was going, like, quite often. Like,
Me
to
too. I was
Africa.
going, like, every 2 years.
Yeah, okay. So, and I genuinely, when I was younger, it was like, okay, like, whatever, like, and I think it got worse for me, like, not worse, so to speak, but, like, I used to go and I used to see our cousins, and, it was fun, like, we'd play video games, like, we'd, like, you know, have a little fun, but then most of our cousins, at least the ones that are our age, left Africa, and then we would go, and then it was all like, we're just seeing family members, and I'm missing out on my friends from back home, because then you get into that age where you're in, like, middle school and, like, beginning of high school, where you're all like, okay, America is so much fun, and I want to stay here. No, but the last 2 times that we went when I was 18, and then we went again this year when I was 20, and
You're 20?
I went with you guys.
Oh, you're 20. Sorry. I remember, yes, you went with us. It was so wonderful. I didn't want to go without you because the year before when I went, you weren't with me, and it was so lonely. I was just there myself and my dad.
It really is, like, I mean, I like it, don't get me wrong, but you need, like, a group of people. Like, it was also, like, it was fun going with you guys when I was, like, what was it, 4 years ago now? No, that's wrong. 2 years ago. Jesus Christ, don't bring me out like that. But, it was fun going 2 years ago with you guys because, it was the first time that we had ever gone together, and, like, I had no other cousins there, so it was, like, fun. And we also, like, we're kind of living together. We both have our own separate houses when we go there, so it's, like, we're not, like, living together, but it's fun to, like, have,
Exactly.
like, a
We
little,
had
like,
our separate houses, yet you were still at my house every single day.
like,
That's
it's, like,
okay.
a little, like, American community, because, like, a lot of people there don't speak English, which is, like, completely valid, but it's, like, harder to communicate with them, and it's not that I don't understand them, it's just that it's harder to speak back, and also, we typically have nothing to speak on. Like, we just don't like the same things. It's just not, like, I'm not gonna sit here and be all like, oh, if we spoke the same language, we would be besties. Like, no, like, a lot of us just don't have the same, like, interests. But, and then last year when we went, 2023, right? Yeah. What's it called? All those Americans were also there. Like, not
That was
just
so
us,
wonderful. Having different people to talk English to, it was amazing.
Like, people who I'm not related to, too, which I've never experienced. Like, there's no Togolese people in Massachusetts. Or there are, but, like, not where I'm from. Like, there's only, like, I think there's only one Togolese family in my city.
There's tons of
other
them in
than me.
Minnesota. In Minnesota,
Yeah.
I swear, I know 10 people just in my city alone. It's crazy.
Yeah, and that's, like, it's so weird to me when you guys, like, all the, like, Americans who went to Togo, and they're all like, oh, no, I have, like, Togolese people in my grade. And I'm like, bitches in your school know where Togo is? Like, what? Like, that is crazy. Because, like, even at my school currently, like, at the university that I go to, like, I was at a club meeting, and they were all like, oh, say your ethnicity, like, whatever. And I said it, and, like, even the people in the room, despite the fact that a lot of them were African or Caribbean or whatever, I said Togo, and they were like, Congo? No, bitch, Togo. Like,
I know. Like, I didn't even know I had a lot of Togo people in my class, and then all of a sudden, Culture Week, they're like, Letitia, you're representing Togo, right? And I'm like, you know my country exists? Oh my goodness. They're like, yeah, we got a flag for you and everything. And I'm like, oh my goodness.
No, because when I'm thinking of like social media and like acting and like growing up, like and growing in my career or whatever, I'm always thinking like I want to like put Togo on the map. Like I really want to like give it the recognition that it deserves as a people. Like maybe not as a country. Like I'm not gonna say too much about the country, but as a people, we're fire as fuck. Like I can't wait to just rep Togo so hard, social media wise. Like it's just, I am so ready to just be all like I'm from Togo. But like in terms of it being like therapy, like I didn't realize, and I've said this on a podcast before, I think it was episode 5 with Lorena, but I didn't realize how important community was when I was growing up. Like, I obviously hated living in my town for various reasons, but I couldn't, like, I didn't have the words to explain it back then. Like, I was just like, oh, I just hate living here. Like, it's just all, But, like, it really was that I had no community. Like, my only friend was, like, of color, and who was African, was Basra. And which was fine, but it's all like one person out of the entire, like I had no community. Like on the weekends I wasn't like going to cookouts, like type shit. Like I feel like a lot of black people and a lot of Africans have their communities, and I just didn't have that growing up. So when we went back in 2018 and we were actually having fun and we were actually talking to people, and I'm older now and I like have conversations instead of just playing video games and playing with toys and shit, like it was like I had a community of people who understood certain things that I enjoy and like I understand. So, like, I don't know, it was just, like, fun to, like, be an adult and be in Africa and realize that, like, it's not necessarily my location, it's more the fact that I just don't have a sense of community where I'm from. And it's not just, like, in Africa. Like, when the pandemic started, I started my first job, and there was a lot of black people there, and I'm not around a lot of black people in general just being in my town. So, like, our entire staff was either, like, African or, like, Haitian or whatever, and it was like a fun vibe. Like all those people, like it was just, it's so not like hard for me. It's hard for me to have relationships with people outside of my race, not in the sense that like I have a lot of relationships outside of my race, but I just don't like explaining certain things to me that just seem natural. Like
yeah,
I
that's
just don't
like
like
the same for me too, because like my friend group is only like black people, because I don't want to explain like, oh yeah, I got a new hairstyle and I'm gonna keep it for 2 months, or oh yeah, I don't need sunscreen like y'all do. I mean, maybe I do, but like it's just nice having people who understand black people, you know. It's nice.
Like I just don't like teaching other people, and like I do to a certain extent. Like I love sharing the knowledge that I have of my culture, and I want to share my culture, but I don't want people in my close life to be like someone that I'm always having to educate on certain things, because it gets tiring. And I think it's just like where I'm like how I've grown up. Like I feel like I wouldn't be this way if I hadn't had to do it for so long. Like I'm just so tired of educating people and being in a space where I don't have to educate anyone on anything. And like I understand that I'm gonna have to educate people on some things, like not everyone's from Togo, but like not having to educate everyone all the time is just so like peaceful and blissful. And it's just like it's nice to have people who just like understand me. And like I was gonna say this before we started filming, but I wanted to wait until we were on the podcast. But for me, I tend to not like think that I like. The weird thing about me is I will think I'm the prettiest bitch in the world, but tell me someone actually likes me and I'll be all like, that's not true. Like why would they do that? Like in my head, like I still have like how I used to think of myself when I was younger, where I was all like, oh, I'm ugly and that's fine. Like I genuinely like believe that just because of how I grew up. And like now, like I'm like trying to veer towards that. Like I have my own self-confidence. It's not like I like think I'm like the ugliest troll in the world, but I definitely don't think that I'm like, whenever someone's all like, oh, that person likes you, I'm all like, do they though? Like, have they seen me? Like,
but like, when we were in Africa though, in Africa, I felt so pretty there, cause like, I don't know, like the beauty standards there, they're so different. I felt like I was the prettiest girl in the world over there, cause everyone looked like me. It was amazing. Like
it's so much better there for like my confidence, because like they actually like think I'm pretty, and like it got to the point where like Africa. It's not good for me in sense of my confidence, because the way I was flirting with anything that would breathe, it's just like, it was too easy. It was too easy. But like also like I have to understand that like to a certain point, like yeah, they think I'm attractive to a certain extent, but also like a lot of people there, they like idolize America. Like they really are all like, oh, like I need to get to America. I really love America. Like every single time we were talking about like me liking Togo, they were like so confused. Every time I was all like, oh my god, I love it here. I never want to leave. They seemed genuinely like, what the fuck is this bitch on? Like she lives in America, and it's all like. I understand that, I do, but like Jubilee came out with a video, which like don't get me started on Jubilee because they are a menace to society and needs to be shut down. But they made a video where I think it was like African Americans talk to Africans about like their disconnect, and I think it's like it was a good video because like I think they like a lot of people in that video really understood like you don't understand how much black people go through in this country until you get here. Like a lot of Africans think that they're different than black people, like immigrants speaking wise, because they're all like, oh, like I just won't act like that and the cops won't harass me. Bitch, they don't.
That's
they
not
don't
how
care.
it works.
That is literally not how it works. And the thing is too, I made this like revelation to myself like a few months ago, but it's all like not only did they take black people from Africa, use them for free labor for 400 years, then proceed to cripple them in their own society in America by like redlining and all that stuff and Jim Crow and all that shit, and still continue to cripple us by like killing us in the street for no fucking reason. They're still actively crippling Africa. Like they're still taking like with everything that's happening in the Congo and like Sudan and all that shit. Like they are fully running like and Haiti too. Like they are fully running this like whole entire scheme that is keeping black people down. Like when I see like Africans like distance themselves from black people in America, it's all like no, but you're also being crippled by the exact same like mechanisms. Like they are like taking so much from us, and I just like I wish that we had the episode that's coming out like literally tomorrow is a like I talk a lot about this, but it's like I really do hope for the solidarity of black individuals as a whole, because like if you look at the world view, like we're at the bottom. I don't care what anyone says, it's always been that way. If you look at history, black people are always at the bottom, and that's not to say that we are actually at the bottom. Like I don't think that of myself, but it's how we're treated in society. And like I wish that there was more solidarity because we have so much more in common. Like even though like obviously I don't share in black culture in America, like black American culture, just because I just don't have that community. I just haven't been around that because like I live in a predominantly white area. Like I still can vibe with a black person who is not African. Like it's we have so much in common, and if we just like kumbaya, I feel like the world would be a better place, specifically for black people. I don't give a fuck about the rest. Like
yeah,
sorry.
And one thing you were saying before, how like Africans idolize America. I'm thinking, why America? France is pretty nice, you know. The UK is not too bad either. Like anywhere in like Europe is not really bad. Why don't they idolize there or something?
Right, I feel like there's some propaganda going on there because like it's really not. And I understand it because like obviously the living wage there and the living wage here completely drastically different. And I guess like America as an economy, like it is like if you want a job, America is the place to go. Like I've asked my parents that before, but it's just like there are a lot of jobs here. Like it doesn't seem like it because we're in America and it seems like everybody's struggling to find a job, but it is a vast like labor market. Like if you want to make money, go ahead, come here. But I feel like it's not. I don't know. Because obviously I'm speaking from a place where I was born here, so I don't know the struggles that they went through back there, right? Like when I go there. Also, why it's like there, because when we go there, I'm not paying for shit. Like, I get driven around, I get my food made for me, like, I am living lavish, and I don't care. Like, I don't care. Like, it's honestly like I'm living through generational wealth in Africa. Like my parents worked hard. They got their money up Africa-wise, so, like, I'm gonna live my life out there. But, like, I know I'm speaking from a place where I'm like in America, so I can say this, but I don't know. I've thought about it a lot, whether the cost of coming here was worth like all the shit that I've gone through. Like, I don't know. And I haven't been through a lot necessarily, but it's still, I don't know.
Yeah, because like
Oh.
I know I heard about like my parents. They told me they were coming here story. They were all like, my dad's like, yeah, I didn't know any English. I worked at Burger King for a couple years. My mom's like, I learned English at a hairdresser. It was so hard getting to college. It was racism. They didn't want to give me a good job. Cause my mom actually left her job, went back to college because she was a researcher, and they weren't giving her grants to do her research. So she left her job and became a pharmacist instead. Because they weren't giving her research grants because they were racist.
And that's my thing too. When I see the kids our age in Africa, like talking about how I'm just trying to get like the lottery so I can get to America or whatever, the visa lottery, obviously I'm talking about. But I keep on thinking, and we're talking about it in one of my classes, sociology and migration, like the visa lottery, and it's so annoying because there's so many things that you have to qualify for to get even into the lottery, and then once you're in it you have to pay all these fees. You're still not guaranteed to come over here, and then once you come over here they discredit all the education that they force you to get to apply for the lottery in the first place. They're all like, you need a high school degree, but like it would be better if you had a college degree. And then when you get here they're all like, okay, start your entire education over again. That's crippling them. Like I'm so sorry, because a lot of them are coming over when they're like in their 30s. Like there's not a lot of younger people coming over via lottery. Like they pick older people. Now you're having them start over again at 30. It's crazy. Like I'm not saying that 30 is old, but you know. Like that's crazy. It's just so annoying because they like literally dream of this shit. Like they're all like, I want to be in America, like that is my dream. Like, and they're picturing the American dream, but it's all like, when you get here they're gonna fucking break you down, and it's so fucking annoying because they've been doing it. Like it's not like this is new to them. They're pros at it. Like
I know. I just wish it was easier for some people to come over. Cause like for my mom's graduation when she went back to college, she was trying to get her sister to come over here, and she's told the people, they're like, it's just for my graduation, yet the government still denied her visa just for a visitation. Cause they're all like, yeah, we think you're gonna come here, you're gonna like it so much, you're gonna want to move your family over here, so we're not gonna give you that visa.
Trust.
So,
No one's
like,
gonna,
what?
like it's so annoying too. Like it's just like, and I don't even understand, like I still don't understand like the whole like, oh, like we don't want people in our country or whatever. Like if you guys hadn't crippled so many fucking nations, this wouldn't be an issue. People wouldn't have to leave their countries because they are looking for better. They would just stay in their country because it's like a normal fucking country. But you physically crippled so many nations, and then you get mad when their people come over here and they're all like, I want a better life. What?
Yeah.
Like how does that make any sense? And like Britain's not any better. Like I fucking
Exactly.
Oh,
I
God.
kind of wonder how my life would be different though if I grew up in Africa. Like, would I have the same personality or something? Like, I just want to know how different life would be. Cause
Right? Like, I don't know. Sometimes I think about it and I'm like, yeah, I'm like upset and like I hate America, but then like realistically, like what kind of life would we be living in Africa? Because like they did come here to get more money and they did get their money up. Like they wouldn't have, even if they got the same jobs in Africa, they wouldn't be getting paid as much. Like
yeah, they wouldn't have been able to build the houses that we live in over there now. My aunt on my mom's side, she has 2 houses there, and I'm like, you lived here your whole life.
like because then I'm all like, wait, so did we have to come to America for the money, or like are y'all just saying that shit? Because like what, like genuinely I'm so confused as to how their life works. Like
Yeah, also, like, I know, like, my dad didn't grow up in the city over there. He grew up in the village. How did he afford the money to move to the city? Like, I mean, the city's not, like, richer or something like America, but it's way better than the villages over there. Like, I just,
like,
huh.
something's not adding up in their stories. We need to
because
get
our
them on the
aunts and
podcast.
uncles grew up in the village, yet now they all live in the city over there.
Like,
And they're doing pretty well
who
off.
funded this? Like, I'm so confused because, like, to my knowledge, almost all of my grandparents were like fucking teachers, and it's all like,
That's my grandparents on my mom's side are teachers.
like, like, are y'all paying these teachers like a lot? Because in America, you are not getting money as a teacher. Like, I'm just. And then, oh my god, you know what I actually wanted to talk about with Africa is, like, me and my mom were talking about it the other day, but they don't have like age of consent there.
Oh yeah,
Specifically,
for
I don't know about it.
drinking? Or no, not drinking.
No, not drinking.
Okay.
And we were talking about how, because like I do see Togo on a surface level. I understand that, but it's kind of hard when you only go there for vacation. But she was talking about how like literally teachers can like prey on students. Like a lot of her friends growing up had like gotten with teachers, and it's all like you literally can't say no to that. Like you literally can't. Like you will be penalized if you do. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's like a different system, and we can't talk about it on here, but it's got me thinking about that one person that we know in Africa who was dating someone, and we didn't like it. But realistically, like, that was very minor compared to, like, the amount of, like, pedophilia that goes on. Like, I mean, not pedophilia, how they would view it. Like, because they are, like, you will see, like, people who are against it, like, obviously. But, like, a lot of people are just normalized to it, especially if the man in the situation has, like, a certain status in, like, Togo. And I think that's just so, like, don't get me started, because I'll start getting into Togo politics. Don't get me started.
Oh, one thing I also don't like, their drinking age, how they don't have a drinking age. I saw a kid with a beer.
They don't have a
normal.
drinking age, but they're all like, hey, don't, like, I mean, they have their own families and whatever, but they have, like, somewhat of, like, oh, you can't do this. When I was drinking there, mind you, I'm 20. I've been able to drink there for 2 years now, like, based on their, like, loose drinking laws or whatever. The way I went up to the counter this year, 2023, when I was 20 years old, and I was all like, pour me a shot, and this man goes, are you 18? Nigga, shut the fuck up and pour me the fucking shot!
They asked me that. They didn't ask me that though. I went up there, I asked, can I get a shot? And they're like, okay. You just look young.
Not the point. But like, what? Like, none of your business. This is Africa. Like, pour me the goddamn shot. Ugh. But like, no, it's a fun time. Like, I genuinely, and I've had more fun like with people that we know going, and like, I'm telling you, we're both learning Ive, we're both learning French. I will sufficiently cuss out some adults. I will. Trust. The next time I'm there, they're getting sufficiently cussed out. I do not care. Because like,
what do these adults do to you though? What do these adults do to you?
They're just bitches for real. Like, I'm sorry. Like, you're getting mad at me for knowing my, like, the thing is, and I've said this before, but how are you getting, like, not mad, but getting annoyed and making, like, jokes about how, like, oh, you don't know the language. Bitch, I can understand you and you're speaking another language. You just don't understand English. Like, if we both knew a different language, then this wouldn't be so hard. Because I can understand you, I just can't speak back. You can't understand me, and you can't speak back. So who's really at the deficit here? Not me. Literally not me. And then on top of that, one of our uncles, Clown Kevin, like, Kevin was talking, and he had messed up, like, the pronunciation of, like, one word in his entire sentence. And then they all started kikiing. Mind you, I don't have a problem with people laughing at me because I'm pronouncing stuff wrong. Like, that has never been my thing. Like, I hate when I go there and they're all like, oh, the reason they don't speak it is because they're afraid people are going to laugh at them. No, I couldn't care less about your opinions about me. Truly, you could laugh at me all you want, despite the fact that I don't understand the language and I speak. Because, one, I've never done that to someone here in America. Like, if someone's speaking a different, like, and I know that English isn't their first language, I'm not going to laugh. That's just, nothing about that is funny to me. Mind you, Kevin messed up, like, a pronunciation, and they all started laughing, and then these are the same people who will be all like, oh, they don't speak it because they think people are going to laugh at them, then proceeds to laugh. And then Kevin called them out. He was all like, the fuck are you doing? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and also, when I was younger, Kevin used to speak it way better than me. And then they would be like, Letitia, why aren't you speaking it as good as Kevin? And I'm like, I don't know, I'm trying. And then when I try, you laugh at me, or you correct me in a rude way. Like, if you're going to correct me in a rude way or laugh at me, then I'm not going to speak it better. Maybe teach me a little bit? I don't know.
And, like, only they find it funny. Like, I've never, like, listened to someone who doesn't know the language and thought, like, English, and thought, like, oh, this is so funny that they can't pronounce this word or whatever. But I think it's also in their culture. Like, I think, like, Haitians and Africans share the same, like, they're very blunt in the way they think about things. Like, they just, like, say things that necessarily in our culture as Americans we would deem as rude. But
yeah,
I still
they called me
rude
fat. They're all like, oh, you're all good and fat, but then they're all like, yeah, that means you're rich, that means you're eating good and stuff. They're like, oh, look, you have a tummy on you, and I'm like, why are you pointing that out?
Yeah, they just, like, love saying shit and, like, pointing out things that really, like, in American culture, you would just leave it alone. and they just love saying that shit with their whole chest.
Like your pimple patches.
I was literally, we're on the same wavelength, because I was literally thinking that. I was wearing pimple patches, and I don't care. Like, I don't care if in American culture you find it gross to wear pimple patches out. I'm gonna wear them because guess what? I don't care. Like, they're literally for my health and benefit. If I don't, I'll have scars all over my face. So, I was wearing them before a party. So we had a party at night, and I was all like, oh, I have a pimple on my face. I'll just wear the patches all day. Take it off before the party, you know? Normal stuff. They proceed. Almost everybody sees the pimple patch on my chin, and they're like, oh, you have something. And some of them tried to peel it off of my face. I was like, ain't no way you're trying to touch me right now. Ain't no way. Because why do you think that... Just leave it alone. Like, you can point it out, fine, whatever. You're going to do that because you're African. Touching me is crazy. Touching me is absolutely insane. I was actually at a party here in America. My parents threw it at the house. Invited a bunch of Africans. I'm walking down the stairs. This is the Labor Day party, the infamous Labor Day party. And I'm walking down the stairs, like, of my deck to the backyard. And one of their friends, like, sees me, and she hasn't seen me in a while. And I had, like, twists. I had twists. So it was my natural hair, not braids, twists. And, like, it was obviously, like, they were midi twists, so they were all over my head. I'm walking down the stairs. She yanks one of them, like, stops me from walking down the stairs, and she goes, oh, my God, I like these. I was like, no. You can like my hair without... and it was a black woman. So I was...
That's not normal. Normally
like,
it's white people. White people touch your hair and stuff.
Like, I was all like, what are we doing here? Like, this is actually insane. Like, oh, my God. Like, they just love just doing stuff very, like, without... I don't know what the word is. Without, like,
Consent.
like, not impulse control. Like, yeah, honestly, like, it's just really weird. Like,
yeah.
And I can understand that to a certain extent. Like, I'll give them a certain amount of grace when it comes to, like, acting within their culture, because, like, they're older, and in their society, no one checks older people. You know, I get that. I'm gonna check you regardless, though, because I'm not part of that culture. Because it's completely wild to me that they disrespect people just because they're younger. Like, I understand respecting your elders. That doesn't mean disrespecting your youngers. Like, I don't understand that. Like, I think that there's room to respect your elders and then also respect people who are younger than you. Like, it's not... The two things are not mutually exclusive. But I really just can't stand them always bringing up the language thing when we go. Because... Well, there's so many reasons why, like, people don't, like, teach the language. My children, however, will be fluent, and that's the thing.
How are they gonna be fluent if you don't know it perfectly?
No, my parents will actually be teaching them. My parents will actually only speak to them in Inuit. I will not be speaking to my child at all until they're fluent in Inuit.
I think you should teach them a little bit of English so they don't get, like, bullied or...
Nope, I don't care. I do not care. You know what? I'm also gonna teach them how to fight.
Wait.
It is neither here nor there. They will learn.
Wait. Would you rather teach your kid Inuit or French?
Oh, Inuit. I don't give a fuck about French.
Well, because French you can use in Europe.
That's the colonizer's language. That's the colonizer's language. I do not care. I thought you were gonna ask me. I thought you were gonna ask me gay son or thought daughter for a second.
No. Just I feel like French is useful. I wish I knew like French because we have a cousin in Africa who only speaks French. Like
yeah, and I'm not saying that it's not useful, but also I was talking to our cousin, the one who's older with a husband or whatever, like about this. She's probably watching this. Hi. What's it called? But we were talking about because we were in a group of Africans again. I don't know. They just keep on having African parties at my house, and I keep on being around them. But we were talking at breakfast, and there was a bunch of them, and I was talking about how I'm learning like Ive, and then they had said something to me about like language, and I was all like, but the real question is, why do you guys not know your own language? Because a lot of people from Togo don't know how to write in Ive because of colonization, and like in schools you learn French. Like
I didn't even know you could write in Ive. I didn't know that was a thing.
Right? Like it's a dying language because a lot of people aren't teaching their kids Ive, even in Togo. Like, and it's not being carried on because of colonization. So we brought up that point, and it's all like, I genuinely am for the liberation of my own people. Like, I will fight for them. Like, if me learning, like, I genuinely, like, and when I'm, like, thinking about, like, in the future, like, who I'm gonna marry and all that shit, it really does come into play for me because I'm thinking about, one, kids, and two, who I want to share my culture with. Because, like, I don't mind going across culture lines, but my kids will be Togolese. They will be.
I want to
Togolese.
marry a Togolese man, but I also don't want to marry a Togolese man.
I know.
It's just so because I want
know.
him to teach our kids the language, so I don't have to rely on my parents. But also a Togolese man. That means he's gonna expect me to be.
I got some on my roster.
No, but they're gonna expect you to be a housewife. And I mean, I want to be a housewife, but I also want to work. But like, it's hard. Like, I just want to. I don't know what I want.
Yeah,
It's
I know.
hard.
Like, I just like thinking about it. I really do want to lean into my Togolese culture, but like, it's all like, do I want them? Do I want them? Because like the thing is too, a lot of the people on my roster, whereas I don't share a lot in common with, and I feel like there is a disconnect because I feel like they just want to come to America, and I want to go back there. Like, there is a disconnect because I want you, but I also want to stay there, and you want me, but you want to be over here. There is no way that I mean, I'll stay in America, but not here in Massachusetts. That's for damn sure.
Wait, would you
I want to go to the DMV.
Would you raise your kids in Togo? Would you want
I
to
don't
do
know.
that?
Or I would want to raise them, like, partially in Togo. Like, I want it to be, like, the way it was when we were younger, like, where we were going all the time and all that shit. Like, so that they, like, really, like, they have solid... And I think that's a good thing that I have. Like, I do have solid roots in Togo. Like, I am very familiar with the place. Like, it's not like I go there and I'm all like, oh, my God, I know nothing. This is a new world. Like, I very much feel at home there because I've spent a lot of my life there. Mm-hmm. Minus, like, not knowing the language. I mean, I do know the language. I could easily, like, translate for someone, and, like, if they came to America, I could translate for them. If they needed to talk to someone in English, I could do that. But, bitches opening and closing doors and not disclosing who they are. What time is it? It's 2:54. Okay, I guess everyone's coming home now, but let me close the door. Hold on.
Okay.
Like, you heard me ask, like, 5 million times for them to disclose who they were, and they just fucking didn't. Like, what if you were fucking a murderer? I mean, I would have gotten murdered on camera, and I would have expected you,
That would have been
to find
so
a way to
great.
save this podcast and post it if I did get murdered. But, this isn't a murder podcast. But, no, I just, like, I really do, and I don't want to put this out there that I'm all like, I'm looking for a Togolese man, but I am.
Me too.
Like, anytime, like, I started following this account on Instagram where it's, like, Togolese people in America. Anytime I see a fine nigga on there, I'm all like, so, what you wanna do? Like, I literally need me a Togolese man, but, like, also, like, I just don't.
I don't.
But
I don't think I would raise my kids in Togo. I don't know. It's just there must have been a reason my parents wanted to come here so badly that they put in all the work to get that lottery ticket. And like, I don't know. The schools there are good and everything, and the fact that there's not an age of consent, I kind of don't like that. And I don't know.
No, because like, the one person that we know that was dating that guy, like, I genuinely, like, I view her as my own child, you know? And it infuriated me, but I couldn't fucking do anything. I literally couldn't do anything. But in the sense of, like, she's actually, like, really smart. Like, she goes to, like, this, like, big private school, like, whatever. Like, I don't want to disclose who it is, but I think she's amazing at everything she does. But, and she's also gorgeous. This is just me, like, admiring her. But, like, I'm sorry. There is, like, someone being murdered downstairs. I'm so aggravated right now.
Wait, your camera's, like, messing up. You're talking and your video is not matching up.
Oh, damn.
Oh, wait, now... Talk again.
Oh,
wait, it's matching up. You're just really blurry now. Oh, wait, no, it cleared up.
Sidetrack'd.
Oh, no,
Okay.
it didn't. Okay.
I'm gonna assume it's your Wi-Fi because everything's good and dandy on my end, and I don't want to cry about having to edit this later. You did freeze, but that's neither here nor there. Anyways, no, but I want to spend a lot more time of my adult time in Africa. Obviously, I have no money right now, so I have to wait on my parents for that decision because a plane ticket to there is not cheap. Actually, when planning my wedding, as you know, we're planning my wedding.
Yeah.
And I don't.
What do you have it? You're having it in Togo because Togo people can't come to America.
Right, that's what it has to be done because they literally can't come here without a visa, and we all know how that's gonna play out. Like if I try to get 20 Africans to America.
Oh, also, so you guys know, she's not getting married right now. We're just planning the wedding, very ahead of time.
I don't know if any Togolese men are watching and they're in America or they want to stay in Togo. hit me up. Hit my line. I do have a wedding already planned, so you get no say in that. Regardless, I am single and ready to mingle. But no, I want to have it there, but like it's so expensive to get there. Like the issue with getting people from Togo to America is both money and visas. The only issue from getting Americans to Togo is just money, which I feel like
the wedding's gonna be so much cheaper over there too. Because you
Yeah.
don't have to pay for, like, the food and the venue will be much cheaper and everything. The reception will be cheaper.
And the
because we'll have
videographer.
U.S. money. Exactly. Oh, and their videographers, they can either hit or miss. Because I remember at our party,
No, I'm getting
it
the
was
expensive.
great.
I am getting the expensive ass videographer if we're doing it in Africa. Wait, you're so totally right. I could use the money that I would have spent on a regular American wedding to fly people to Africa. Wait, I'm totally having my wedding in Togo. That's actually so great. That is so smart of you, Letitia. Thank you. This is why she's my second half. Honestly, at this point, like, you're just, like, a recurring co-host on Sidetrack'd. Because, like, you have the most episodes out right now. And that is thanks to Kevin, because he was supposed to be here, but he's not.
Boo him.
Boo. Boo. Tomatoes,
In case y'all
tomatoes.
forgot, Kevin's my brother. Ugh. That guy.
Who you've never met. Because this man is never in Boston either. Like, it's just, like, you've been to Boston, like, a few... Wait. Yeah, you went twice last year. What the fuck? Anyway.
I did.
But, yeah. I never see... And, like, the thing is, I want to be closer to my family. Like, honestly, like, when I'm older... Like, I just always imagine when I was older, like, even when I was growing up with our cousins, like, who are now no longer in Africa, like, I just always imagine them being part of my children's lives. Like, that's how close I was to them, even though I only saw them every 2 years. Like, that is
I was
how
never
our
close to
relationship
them.
was.
I don't know what
Yeah, which
happened,
is
but
so weird
I don't
to
know.
me.
But because they're all, like, your age. You're, like, 20. I'm 17. And I was hanging out with none of them. I don't remember any of them.
Well, yeah, but, like, Ashley, I'm just going to say names because who cares? They're not going to watch it. Ashley is the same age as Kevin. They're born in the same year. She's, like,
I met
2
her.
months older
I've
than
hung
Kevin.
out with her as a child that I don't remember, and then one other time. That's it.
Yeah, we used to beef all the time like we were sisters, though. Like, that was my first, like, that, I love her to death, but we were, like, literally sisters. Like, the way we would fight and argue, but I love her. Like, I do love her, but we would, like, physically get into altercations all the time. And, like, I was a scrawny kid, and she was, like, bigger, and it was never working out in my favor, even though she's younger than me by, like, 2 years, a year? And then Jibe and Peridua are...
I don't even remember what Jibe looks like.
Yeah, no.
I remember
That's
Peridua
actually valid,
perfectly.
'cause- yeah, because he was in Africa up until recently.
Every
but,
time I
like,
went to
how
Africa,
old are they?
Peridua was there.
I think
But
Peridua is
Jibe-
22, and that would make Jibe also 22 or 21. He's like a few months younger than Peridua because obviously they're not siblings actually, but like whatever.
But now that they're gone, going to Africa is kind of sad.
Yeah, I know. No, when
Because we're
Jibe
hanging
and
out with
Ashley
the
first
younger
left-
people. We're hanging out
I'm
with the
not
younger
hanging out with
people, and they're like 5, 3, 7, and 11.
Okay, you're like wait 5, 3, 7, and 11. Where'd you get those numbers from?
Well, I don't know. There's somewhere.
Somewhere in
There's
that range.
13, 11, 7, 4. 3.
5.
Okay.
He's 5.
No, his younger brother is 3.
He's... What are you talking about? Marlon is 5 years old. Turning 6.
See, this is... You guys, we gotta go back to Africa. We're losing touch with our
Just
people.
there.
I miss
you're
Africa. I miss the environment, the parties, just being there. It's just... And then going outside, and I like going outside and seeing the dirt on the floor. Like, having dirt instead of grass, it's just a different environment. And then going up to my roof, and it's just so warm all the time, and then I got so dark.
And the houses are
Ooh.
better. Like, I don't care. The houses just have better, like, vibes going
Well,
on.
our
Like, I just like how
houses, not everyone's houses.
Well, I just like how the houses there are square instead of being, like, American houses.
Oh, and they're made with cement.
Yeah, like, I just
That's-
don't like American houses.
No, but
I mean...
yeah.
Temperature-wise, like, obviously, New England and Minnesota, they fluctuate in temperature, but, like, Africa is just Africa. Like, it's
so warm, and it's just so lovely.
Oh my god, I thought that stopped recording for a second, and, like, okay, whatever. Anyways. I don't know how much we can record on this like site because I'm not paying for it because I was like, I don't want to pay just to get the watermark removed. So I didn't. Thanks for Riverside for having this video on their platform. There's probably like a little thing right up here. But no, what were we talking about? Houses. Oh my god. I just love everything about when we go back there. I want to do like I've been searching a lot of videos of what to do because like I want to venture on my own. Like we usually are always with our parents and like, I love it.
They
But
provide
I really
us
do wanna venture
safety.
on my own.
I don't want to go into their
like,
market by myself. That market
I
is
would
scary.
literally never go to the market. It's so, like,
No.
the way that they yell at you too, like they just
I know,
be like move in and
I was scared to go just with my mom. I'm like, is it okay for us two girls to go to the market? She's like, come on, Letitia, it's fine. I did this as a kid. And I'm like, okay. And then I went to the market and the guy's all like, my mom's like, Leticia, if you're going to talk, you better speak perfect of it. And I'm like, okay, I will. She's like, you cannot let them know.
You're not allowed to speak English there because if you speak any lick of English, they will upcharge you tremendously because they're all like, oh, they're Americans, they got money.
Exactly.
So
I went to the market and I'm so proud of myself. I got them to lower the price on my dress. I was so happy. We still got scammed, but it's okay.
I just love how we go places and like our parents will be all like, don't speak at all. Like remember when we got our nails done?
Yep.
We're literally like me and Leticia are sitting in the like because my mom and Leticia went to go get our nails done and we're sitting in the chair and my mom was all like, don't say a word so that they don't upcharge us because I think someone else went. Did you?
It was
go
like
to get your nails done?
$2, right? No.
Yeah,
I
but
didn't.
someone else went to go get their nails done and it was really expensive. So my mom was like, I think they did that because of this. Let's go somewhere else, get our nails done. But I can't remember who it was. Was it you?
I don't know, but we went and they charged us
Yeah.
the same price as someone else, and it was like $3 for our full set of nails. It came off the
because we
same
were, like-
night though. The
Yeah,
nails
they
came off
weren't
the
good
same
nails.
night,
But like,
I don't know.
it was nice. Like, I want to do more touristy things when we go there. One, I want to do more touristy things in Boston because I don't like experience Boston, and I say I hate it so much, and that's just because of driving. I just hate fucking driving in general, but especially driving in Boston is the worst thing in the world. But I feel like if I was like all touristy and like really did shit in Boston, I'd like it a little bit more because I always see like people vacationing to Boston and being like, oh my god, I love it. And I'm like,
I love Boston. It's such a nice city. I can't wait to go to college there. It's just so nice.
maybe when you come, we'll do a bunch of touristy things so I can experience it through your eyes because like I don't like it. But like when we go to Africa, because usually it's not very touristy when we go. It's
They have a
usually just
beach.
family. Yeah,
They have a beach,
no, they
but
have
it's
a lot of
dangerous.
stuff.
I almost drowned
Yeah.
at that beach. Okay?
You're not
I
supposed
was
to
just
swim.
there.
I've been told that you're never supposed to swim in.
No, but my dad's all like, oh, Leticia, you did swimming for 7 years. You'll be fine. I was there. That tide was ripping at me. I was like, oh, save me. And but I survived. We're okay. But
No, I've always been told to never go into the water in Africa. I don't know. I've just been told that.
I know.
No,
but
I
there's
remember the horses. Like I'm always. You've never done the horses.
I've never seen I've always seen
The beach with
horses
the
that are
horses.
just. I've
What?
only seen like frail, skinny horses or donkeys.
No. When we go to Africa, you need to ride a horse, bitch. What?
Okay.
That is such a crazy statement. But I always go, and then I go to the beach by my dad's house, and like we ride horses. They sell horse rides. You never? Oh, you need to do that. You need to get on that because it's fun. It's fun. Marwan's done it. What the fuck? How have you not done it?
I don't know. No
Anyways.
one brought it up. I don't know things.
Yeah,
I also
well, I
hate
just
how
need
when
to
we go to
look up.
Africa, we can't just search up on our phone things to do in Togo. They just don't show up. Things to do in Togo.
TikTok is a better search engine. I be doing that. I have a list of things I want to get done the next time I go. With Kai Cenat, he's in Nigeria right now, and like, don't get me started on all that, cause god, that annoys me. But like, just like in the Chopcool's trip to Ghana, like I feel like Africa is becoming more of the place to be. Like, obviously not Togo because it's minuscule in comparison to other places in Africa. Like, I feel like off the top of my head, I know the countries that people think about when they think about Africa, and even then, some of those get lost. Like, when I think of Africa, like, the major countries, it's Ghana, it's Nigeria, it's Congo, like, DR,
Ethiopia.
South Africa, Somalia, did I already say Morocco? Like, Egypt, like, Those are the big five or whatever. Like, those are the countries that you think about when you think about Africa. Oh, and Senegal. Don't forget Senegal, because if you take a French class, they always talk about Senegal like it's like the holy grail of everything, and I'm all like, it's just Senegal. Like, y'all are acting, and they're all like, it's the Paris of Africa, or it's the France of Africa. Is France even the France of like who fucking wants to be in France? Like, no offense to French people if they're listening. I think actually I did see that one of my podcast episodes was listened to by someone in France, and I was like, I don't know anyone. I mean, I know Père but he's not listening. I don't know anyone in France, so I don't think that's like someone that I know. But I thought it was very, very funny. But I love French people. I just don't like France.
One day we're gonna do a podcast
Canadians,
episode in French. One day we're gonna do our podcast episode in French, and it's gonna be so good. All the people from Africa will understand us. Everyone in Europe, well, not everyone in Europe, in Western Europe can understand us.
Like, oh, we should also do a podcast episode in Neve when we're more fluent. That'd be fun. Ooh. I mean, no one's gonna. I'll probably do like subtitles for like YouTube or whatever, but I think it would be fun because we do have people back home who watch the podcast on YouTube because that's literally the only place they can watch it. I mean, I don't think they have Spotify or Apple Podcasts, which is weird to me. I just need to be in Africa. Like, I just like the warm weather, like the people. Like, I just need to be back there. Like,
that reminds me, when we were in Africa, my younger cousin, he knew a bunch of American songs, and it surprised me. How are they figuring out about all this American stuff? Why are they so focused?
There's always that one song. This is my favorite thing of going to Africa, because every year there's always that one song that's not super popular in America. It's still popular in America, but it's not super popular, and it blows up in Togo. Like, I remember one year it was, what is the song? It was like a Chris Brown song about love, and it wasn't something super
Humble
popular.
and Kind.
No, it was something where he was always saying love, and like I remember that because Ashley would sing it all the time, but because obviously English not her first language, the way she was saying it would distort the words to me, so I was all like, why are you singing this so hard? And then this year it was that song by J. Cole where it's all like, all my life. They were singing every single party without fail. I even have like a clip from one of the parties where that starts playing at the very last party that we had in Togo, and every single American, like, physically, like, you can see on our faces, we're all like, the fuck are you playing this shit for again? Because it wasn't even just like, oh, we had heard it at every single party. No, it had played at least 3 times during that one party as well, and it's all like, okay, I get it. Good song. I love the song. Hella overplayed in Togo, which is very funny to me to like be able to like see things in a different lens. Like, going to Togo, it's like a different culture there, and like when I just feel like Africa's on the up and ups in terms of people liking it, because like, what was it? Calm Down by Rema. The fact that was playing on the radio on not just like it was playing on a lot of radio stations. Like, it was playing on hip-hop radio stations.
I hear that song every day, and it's still playing every day. I'm tired of that song.
And didn't he win a Grammy for that?
I don't know.
I feel like he won a Grammy for that.
And they don't play any of his other songs. They only play Calm Down. He has other good songs too, but they only play Calm Down. Like, why? Like,
sorry, I'm gonna let it like sink real quick, because we're not on the same wavelength. Like, it's uploading something, and it's like making everything say something.
Hello. Maybe it's gonna turn off soon.
Okay. Oh well. I don't know. It says it's uploading something, and it's at 99%.
No, that's been saying that this whole time, though.
Oh wait, the time has stopped.
No, it's still going for me.
Yeah, it wasn't though, and the time has stopped. Oh,
it's at
okay.
50 minutes right now.
My time is like taking like in between. It's at what?
50 minutes.
Mine's at 30.
Mine's at 50.
Let's do a closing thing just so that this doesn't end on a bad note. This always happens when we film together. There's always some technical difficulties. Had Kevin been here on time, we probably would have had less technical difficulties, but that's neither here nor there. Okay, we're gonna... What was my last point I wanted to make right before I realized that it's not recording anymore? Oh my god, do you think that it's only recording 30 minutes of me and 50 minutes of you? That'd be crazy. Um, I don't know what I was saying right before that, but I really do. I love Africa. Africa is on the up and ups. I love Togo. I can't wait to put Togo on the map when I'm famous. Like, you will never hear me shut up. When I'm famous, you will never hear me shut up about Togo. I'm always going to be like, oh yeah, because I'm Togolese. Oh yeah, I do this because I'm Togolese. Oh, I love Togolese this. Like, I'm always going to be talking about Togo. Never going to stop. Never will stop. And I'm honestly, at this point, I'm probably going to start getting into Togolese politics as well, because like,
tricky business.
I genuinely am just so for like, yeah. Oh my god, I remember, sorry, before we close off everything, I've said this before, but I used to think, like, when I was younger, like 14, people would tell me this, like, as a joke, but like, when I started getting pretty, it's a weird thing to say, but like, my uncles and aunts would be all like, oh my god, Mary Jo should run for Miss Togo, and I'm all like, that seems like a terrible idea, but now I'm all like, say less. Say less. Because, like, they need to speak English or some shit, and I think that's stupid. But, like,
don't they need to speak a bit too? Or
like,
French?
Be in Miss Togo, and I'm like,
I don't
think so. I think it's just French. I don't think they need to speak a... I think it's, like, you have to speak English, though. Like, English is one of them. And, like, you remember the TikTok that I sent you, but they were making fun of, like, the girl who won Miss Togo because her English wasn't good, and I'm like, are you not all in Togo? Like, I'm just so sick of them being all bitter and, like, bitches, like, about language when you're literally, like, you literally can't speak another language. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm not clowning you, but here you are clowning other people. Like, anyways. But that is where we're going to end today's episode, because I don't even know if most of this got recorded. This is going to be an interesting find. Right? You can keep up and follow the podcast on all social media, TikTok and Instagram. If TikTok is still popping in a few months, I don't know. They're getting rid of the app. America is banning it. But, you know, if you're in Togo, you'll still be able to access my old videos, I guess. But you can follow us at Sidetrack'd Podcast on all social media platforms. And you can follow me at MaryJoJessica on Instagram, at MaryJo.Jessica on TikTok. I'm still trying to get that changed. Where can they find you, Letitia?
On Instagram, you can find me at Letitia_boss. On TikTok, Letitia.boss. And that's all I have.
Also, I don't think that's correct. I think you did this last time.
Nope, I just checked.
Username.
I just checked it. We're good.
Okay. That has been Sidetrack'd. I will talk to you later.
Bye.